occupied and you need to continue to procure insurance till the voyage actually comes to an end. If it is for a certain period, the liability of insurance comes to an end at the expiration of that period. And if it's for even if the voyage has not yet ended, and if it is for a particular voyage, then the liability of the insurer continues. So the voyage has ended, even if it takes longer than a year. The contract of life insurance is not a contract for a year only, but it is continuing contract. So that's the difference. And covers either a specified number of years or the balance of the insured's life. As a contract of life insurance covers continuing risk, advance payment of premium every year during the whole term of policy is a condition precedent for keeping the policy in force. And if the premium due is not paid within the due time plus the grace period, the policy elapses. Let's look at reinsurance. An insurer assuming larger risk from a direct insurance business may arrange with another insurer to offload the excess of the undertaking risk over his retention capacity. Such arrangement between the two insurers is termed as what? Reinsurance. So as I told you earlier on, a reinsurer is also a party to the insurance market. When one insurance company feels that the risk associated with a certain goods or a certain policy is large, and they feel that they want to offload some of them to another insurer, they can do so. Okay, so they will reinsure that particular risk with another insurance company. Thus, by the device of reinsurance, the original insurer transfers part of its risk to the reinsurer. Payment made by the ceding insurer, called the original insurer or the reinsured, to accepting the insurer, called the reinsurer, for the assumption of risk by the latter is termed as reinsurance premium. So when we talk about reinsurance premium, it is that premium that the insurer is paying for the reinsurance. Okay, right. And a reinsurance contract does not affect the original insurer's contractual obligation to the insured under the original contract of insurance. Moreover, in the absence of any privity of contract between the reinsurer and the originally insured person, the latter cannot have any remedy against the former. So this is the end of our presentation on the key terminologies and the principle of insurance. In another space, we'll be looking at transport insurance proper. We'll be looking at transport insurance proper, and then look at liability insurance, and also look at the duty of freight forwarders in times of damages. Now let's look at liability insurance. Learning objective. The student should be aware of the various coverage of different liability insurance policies, and in particular, the risk covered and those generally excluded. The student should also know the liability insurance for fiata bill of lading, and the student should also understand the role of the P&I clubs and then the TT clubs. Now, when we talk about liability relating to goods, where cargo moves from one country to another country by road, by rail, by sea, or any different regimes, okay, or different means or mode of transport, there are different regimes of liability which are applicable in the event of any loss or damage or delay during the transportation. It is thus important that the freight forwarder understand the right and obligation of each carrier during each mode of transport. So we need to understand the liability of a carrier when they are applying road, and the liability of carrier when they are applying rail, and the liability of carrier when they're applying the sea, the liability of carrier when they are playing what? The air, or across modes. Okay, we need to know the liability of the carrier. Now, how do we minimize exposure to risk as freight forwarders? This is very, very important. There must be ample works which is done by freight forwarders to make sure that exposure to risk of damage, risk of loss, risk of theft or pilferage is minimized to also make their customers happy. Number one is training of staff. Okay, freight forwarders must always emphasize on knowledgeable or competent staff, because when your staff, through your staff negligence, there is damage or there is loss or whatever, then your company can be hold on to actually pay for certain compensation to your client. So you can actually save your customer from a lot of risk when you are dealing with only competent staff. Also, we have the standard trading conditions for freight forwarders. In your freight forwarding model, you were exposed to some of these things, the standard trading conditions, which every freight forwarder has to educate their clients. Okay, they educate their client on the terms and conditions and everything, and the liabilities of the forwarder, and when they act as principals or agent, and everything is spelled in it. Also, we need to understand the bill of lading terms, okay, and then how to handle claims and recoveries effectively. And you should be able to correct documents, okay, know the correct document to be used, and ensure subcontractors have adequate liability insurance cover to cover their negligence. And then also, you need to actually, I think there's a problem with my slide. Okay, so these were the things that I was talking to you about. Okay, you minimize the exposure to risks by training your staff, and then educating your client about the standard trading conditions, and getting abreast with the bill of lading terms. You see, some of the bill of lading terms have been written with very, very tiny words. So you'll not be in a position to